welcome back to another episode of the Otter Players Podcast, where this week we'll catch up on the rest of the showcases that took place after last week's show, the Nintendo Showcase, the Xbox Showcase, PC Showcase, and what have you. Also, of course, all the news pertaining to Xbox afterwards, after FanFest, the Xbox reset, the rumor about them changing the Helix hardware after dealing with exponentially increased pricing and so much more. So, like I said, we'll go ahead and jump into all of that, see what everybody's top 5 games were from the shows overall. Uh, but first up, we'll see what everybody's been playing and jump into the show. Weeb, how are you, sir, and what have you been playing?
I'm great, thank you for asking. Yeah, I'm pretty much. I've only been playing Lego Batman, The Legacy of the Dark Knight, since yeah, that was still on my back burner, and I think I'm pretty close to the end. I think I'm chapter 5. I'm sort of cleaning up the map. I've unlocked all the characters, so I can go ahead and do all the side stuff. Yeah, it's pretty fun so far. I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said before, they pull out all the stops with the reference to everything that's Batman. Like chapter 5 start literally with chapter 4 start literally with the opening of like the Lego version of the opening of Batman animated series, clearly with the the soundtrack of the series. It was pretty cool. Um, yeah, like the even like the side missions, like you have like these tons of the Riddler challenges and the Clue Mask challenges, and even then they have a tendency to sometimes just introduce like a mechanic that you don't use anywhere else just for sake of a puzzle, and yeah, I like that sort of they went like above and beyond to make a fun experience. So yeah, I mean, thoroughly enjoying it. I'll hopefully finish it by the weekend. Yeah, and then I'll have to see what's next because yeah, there's a my backlog is still huge, not bragging, and there's so much coming. I mean, yeah, July is even in July for me is pretty busy considering I still have to play Mouse BI, which the physical version is dropping next month. I think yeah, August is also pretty busy with um, Plague's Tale, Resonant, and Metal Gear Collection coming. So and then there's September. So yeah, I mean it's pretty insane. Be like if you're a gamer and you actually play games, like I need to make a schedule. Like I literally had to because of all the stuff I pre-ordered from the showcase. Like I had to like make a list just to be sure. Like oh yeah, I pre-ordered this because it would be the first time that I accidentally pre-ordered the same thing twice because I forgot I pre-ordered it because it's so. And now there's so much coming because everybody is trying to get their game out before GTA 6. I'm gonna laugh like out loud if they decide to delay it again and then it's gonna
Once you
release
put
in
that in the
February because
atmosphere, sir.
everything is either releasing in September or February. Yeah, but yeah, it's yeah, first world problems. I mean, it's great being a gamer right now. Enough to play. So yeah, I'm hoping to finish it soon, and then yeah, I'll do whatever else is looks interesting in my backlog.
All right, cool.
That's
Sounds good to me.
it.
Morgan, how are you, ma'am, and what have you been playing?
Good, good. Um, Mostly I've been kind of like cleaning up games that I've been playing. You know, Weeb said he got the platinum first light, so I had to go back and be. I can't let Weeb take that from me. So I went back and I got the plat for first light. Really good game. Really happy with what IOI did with the Bond IP. I really can't wait to see what they do with it going out, further out, because they definitely set this up to obviously be the beginning of a what I would think would be a big and successful franchise because this was just an outstanding game, especially for their first time doing something in like obviously they've made games before, if you're familiar with the Hitman series, but this is kind of their first narrative-driven action adventure kind of PlayStation style game, and I think they did a really good job for a first time. And there were a couple of bugs and things that I ran into playing the game, especially when it's a game that um, like a lot of games now that are have like their particular account attached to it. Like you gotta have like a Rockstar account or a Ubisoft account, and then this one with the IOI account. Like for some reason it like it would just keep logging me out, even though I logged into my IOI account like every hour, and it was very annoying. To the point where I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna sign out. And even when I signed out, it would try to sign me back in and say, oh, we can't sign in. I don't know what this whole thing was. It was very weird. And then the whole thing where um not bug, my game just kind of bugged out and like froze, and then it crashed. But that happens. But then when I came back onto the game, it like literally just would not play. But thankfully
Okay.
there's like a yeah, like it just wouldn't turn on. Like I got to the main screen, press continue, and then just nothing would happen. Um, and I was like freaking out because I was like, oh man, here we go. 'Cause I was like halfway through the game and tried deleting the game, re-uploading it, nothing was fixing it. But thankfully like they have like the game autosaves a lot, and I just had to kind of open up a new save file. I think my save file got corrupted essentially, so I had to open up a new save file and pick up, you know, to where the closest autosave was. But thankfully, like where it crashed, I had literally just autosave, so it just kind of put me back to right where I was. So other than that, and then a couple times that the game kind of just bugged weirdly, but even with all those things, it was still I still had a great experience with 007. Um, getting those what is it the tactical mission trophies, like the online component for 007 First Light. uh, so, for you, Weave, did the trophies take a minute to pop up? Like trying to get the experience for tactical level 3, it it didn't
Uh,
it, it didn't want to
sure.
pop up.
No, for me it was pretty
Okay.
quick. But I heard yeah, I mean I used a trophy guide myself, and I saw that was a common thing. Some even
Yeah.
said like it only popped up when you hit level 4 or something.
Yeah, I
Um,
had to, even after I got level 3, it just refused to like pop up, but I went ahead and did like an operations mission. And after I completed my operations mission, then they decided it wanted to pop up, which is fine. I needed to do the operations mission anyway to get the trophy, so it wasn't
yeah.
that big of a deal, but it was just weird. But yeah, it had a little, like I said, it had some glitches and some bugs, but overall, the experience for 007 was great. I really enjoyed the story, really enjoyed the hand-to-hand combat. And if this is like like I said, the first of many games, like, and this is like the baseline where they're first kind of dipping their toe into how to do a narrative action adventure game, I can only see it getting better from here. So yeah, shout out to IOI on a fantastic James Bond game. Um, but I also went back and cleaned up my my mouse PI for hire trophy run. Initially, like I had gotten every trophy except two because they were also bugged out for some reason. Like even though I was pretty sure I did all the requirements, found all the clues, it was just not working. But then I saw that they had put out a patch to kind of give you those trophies if you earn them. So I downloaded the patch, and one of the trophies popped up, but the other one didn't. So I had to kind of almost replay the game, but it was really only like playing it halfway through. And obviously I was speed writing it because I've already seen the story and everything, so it didn't take me nearly as long. It only took me like 4 hours or so. But I realized I had left out and not discovered one particular clue, and that was why I didn't get the trophy. So I went back and got that, and so I got the plat for Mouse PI for hire. Another great game if you haven't played it. If you like the boomer shooters as they're called, old school Doom, but with a noir flavor with mice as the main protagonist, and you like cheesy puns, and that was a cheesy pun that I just said right there. Then you'll like Mouse PI. Another great indie game. Like indie games have been just doing fantastic this generation. They've always been great, but they're really you know, firing on all cylinders generation, and especially this year. Mouse PI was another great game, and I highly recommend it if you like first person shooters and kind of a cartoony with a cartoony element added to it. So yeah, um, that was another one that I finished up, and I also tried the and finished the Adventures of Elliot, the Millennial Tales demo. Um, when we initially saw it, I think it was what last year was when we saw it initially, I believe, for the first time. Um, you know me, I love the HD 2D art style, but then I saw it was action, and I was like, oh, because for when it comes to the art style, I'm just really big with like turn based. I like turn based, so when it comes to this, I was just like, oh, it's an action game, okay. They put out a demo, and I'm like, okay, I'm always down just for a demo, right? It can't hurt to try it out. The game is, absolutely gorgeous. Um, you know, that crisp 2D HD art style. The environments look great. The soundtrack is really good. Um, the voice acting for English, I was kind of hit or miss, but I do like the Japanese voice track. I kept it on that. Um, when it got to the combat, obviously the beginning, obviously really simple because it's a tutorial kind of showing you everything. But about like halfway through the demo, it started picking up, started getting a little bit more difficult, and I'm like, you know what? This is actually kind of fun. It actually started getting really good with the dungeons I was going into, and especially like the boss battles that you face. I think there's like three, maybe four in this demo. It was a pretty long demo. I think it took me about 4, maybe 5 hours to complete. Uh, but yeah, I am a fan. I will be picking this up day one. I like what I saw. I'm always down for a game to prove me wrong, and that hey, you'll actually like it. Even though I am, like I said, sort of against action based when it comes to the 2D HD platform, especially JRPGs. But this one was really, really good. And I should have known not to doubt it, because again, it was Team Asono. These are the same people that do Octopath, Bravely Default, you know all the games that I like. They did 0, they did 1, they did 2. Um, so I should have known that I was gonna like this. But again, these are my biases coming to the forefront. But I'm glad they put a demo out. This is why I like demos. So I enjoyed my time with it, and it's coming out in I think like 4 or 5 days, I believe. I think it's coming out the 18th. So yeah, it'll be out like next week or something. So yeah, I'll be picking that up. And then I'm also currently playing Onimusha: The Way of the Sword. This is my first time with Onimusha. Never played it back in the day. So it's kind of my first experience, and I'm only like 15, 20 minutes into the demo, so I can't really give uh like any kind of judgment towards it. But I will say the combat feels nice, and I like the versatility of what you can do, and the animations as far as like his sword play and things like that, and the enemy AI seems to be really good. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. But I mean, I already pre-ordered it, so it's not like it's not like I'm
Yeah,
really gonna
you
pull
got
out. Yeah, I've
the
already pre-ordered
steelbook,
it.
right? Yeah.
I've already got it. So it's
Yeah.
like this
And
was just me trying it out, to see what it's gonna be like, test drive it before I pick it up off the lot, essentially. Um,
I I love
but
how you did it the other way around. Normally you play the demo and then you pre-order. You're
yeah,
like,
but when it
no,
comes to a steelbook, I'm like
steelbook,
a sucker
it's
for a
over.
steelbook. So
I love how steelbook have a
I saw a
bias. I
steelbook and I
love
was like,
that.
oh, okay, and immediately pre-ordered it. But I mean, at least what I'm playing, I'm liking so far. It looks really good. It's running really good on the PlayStation. I think they're gonna have like a PS5 Pro. I think it's PS5 Pro enhanced,
It
and there's
is.
a lot of graphical settings in there. Obviously there's the fidelity and performance mode, but then there's also the 120 hertz mode, and then there's like the frame rate fixed mode. So there's like a lot of different versatility when it comes to your performance, I guess, especially if you have a Pro. And it looks really good. It's smooth. Like obviously it's a demo, so I can't obviously talk about how it's gonna play the entire game. But so far it's a really smooth experience. Not really experiencing any kind of hitching or glitching. So I'm liking it so far, and I am currently playing it while I'm talking to you guys. So probably by the end of the podcast, I'll be able to tell if I like the game or not. But honestly, I'm still gonna get it anyway at the end of the day. But yeah, I think that's pretty much been it for what I've been playing this week.
Cool. Sounds good. Uh, Omar, how are you, sir? And what have you been playing?
I'm fine. My internet isn't. I'll share you the picture what I was downloading a 15 gigabyte game. It took me what 90 plus hours.
Yep.
The problem was that my internet strength it come and goes whenever it bounces. And this one, yeah, it stopped my entire internet. It was a slog, but I was able to download it. And for the people who are curious what I was downloading, I bought a couple of games. I bought some God of War Son of Sparta, the Metroidvania game. I bought the Nightling. It's a platformer that apparently amazing game, so I can't wait to play it. I bought Astria Ascending, and I also bought uh, Trine. I'm a huge fan of Trine, and with the announcement of Trine 6, I saw the Trine, all the Trines were in discount. So I bought Trine 5, and I bought the collection for Trine 1, 2, and 3, literally for a few bucks each. I'm so happy with. I only missed out on one deal. I fucked up. I wanted to buy Blasphemous 2 for $10. I forgot. And I lost my ability, so I'm waiting for that. Oh yeah, and I bought the game that we finished called Possessor. All by all, great haul, if I say so myself. I started Scarlet Nexus again, and let me tell you, the gameplay is as fire as it have used to be. I'm loving the story. I forgot why I dropped that game. I used to have a habit to play a game and midway through something up comes up and I drop it. So yeah, I'm glad that I picked it back up. It's a long story. Also, you need to play it twice to understand the full story aspect. Um, Voice acting is phenomenal. Pick it up. I literally bought the DLC for $10, so including a story and stuff like that. Other than that, playing God of War Sparta. Okay, so I know only Weeb here played it. I will say it's literally Metrovania light when it comes to the combat. It, uh, Weeb, would you agree this is literally the longest side quest, main quest story? Like you're literally looking for someone. That's your main story. It's literally a side quest story, but in a main quest jacket. The story is the weakest out of it, but I would say, but I can't stress it enough. If you're a fan of God of War, play this game because you're gonna see a totally different side of Kratos than what we grew up with, and it's so refreshing seeing Kratos laugh, hearing Kratos, seeing how he's getting molded by his ideology and stuff like that. Combat is nothing to write home about, not gonna lie. But it's the banter between Kratos and Deimos. I would say though, they missed out on having this game being co-op esque because it just works with you and your brother playing through it. And besides that, yeah, no, that's about it for me. Only two games while I wait on Elliot. That's the next on my neck. If I can download it, I need to check how many gigabytes that game is.
Yeah, ain't no telling. We'll know soon enough. Um, But yeah, as for myself, I'm still making my way through 007 First Light. Um, and then I am also, I started a fresh run on Xenoblade Definitive Edition with the new 4K 60 FPS update and other add-ons that they added. The game looks great, runs great. It's finally in a state where I really feel like I can play it and fully really enjoy it. So that's been a ton of fun. Um, really just been going through that. Um, as well as finishing up a run on one of the older Fire Emblem games on NSO. That's been, again, another thing that's just been a lot of fun, going back to these sprite based Fire Emblems that really started it all, that really honestly have a completely different charm than the modern day ones. Like, obviously, Fire Emblem is one of my most anticipated titles this year. But yeah, the older ones, the sprite based combat, like again, there's just certain things um, where it's just a product of the time, and they're not necessarily outdated, right? They changed, they updated them, but it's not necessarily an evolution. It's just a change because a lot of those sprite based systems still hold up really, really well even today, especially when you're able to enhance the resolution on some of them and things of that nature when you go back and play some of these titles. Something we talked about, me and Morgan were talking about when it comes to like Pokemon. You know how Pokemon, when it went 3D, kind of lost its original charm from the Game Boy and so on and so forth. Obviously, it has some different things going for it, but it lost a lot of that sauce that it kind of had when it was 2D at first, and they had a really specific way they went about it. Um, but yeah, that was an interesting conversation that kind of led me back to going back more towards some of these sprite based Fire Emblems and stuff, and just remembering how much I really loved them and how different they are. Um, the certain strategic elements and things of that nature that they have in them as well. Um, it was just the way they were able to achieve some of the things that they did at that time, and just kind of explain to people like everything that is updated is not necessarily an evolution of something, because people, like, I realize a lot of people like the word evolution because it sounds good, right? It sounds right. Evolution implies something is better now, but a lot of things are not necessarily an evolution of their predecessor. They're just different from the prior games. So that's probably how I would describe Fire Emblem. The new ones are not better in a lot of ways, um, but they are new games and they're different and going for like different vibes. Everybody has kind of seen this one recently. Now that they've announced the release date and stuff, so you can kind of get a vibe for that in the arena and how they're kind of going about this one. And we'll obviously have the full thing here September 17th to really see how that goes. So went on ahead and pre-ordered the collector's edition for that because I don't play when it comes to Fire Emblem. So I ordered that expeditiously. But yeah, like I said, that's mainly
Already sold
it.
out, right?
It sold out pretty quick. It's been coming back in stock here and there, but honestly, I wouldn't trust that stuff because half the time when you order off of that or order later, there's no real guarantee that you're going to get it. So, I mean, I ordered probably about 10 minutes after it went live on Nintendo directly before it was available anywhere else and secured it. So, I mean, Nintendo makes them. So, if you get it locked in at Nintendo, you're going to get it. Um, that's really the important thing. So, that is that's what I went for. Yeah, Henry agrees with you, Morgan. He says Elliot's gonna be lit. Um,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it was really good. Really enjoyed my playthrough with that.
yeah, I still got to get
I'm intrigued with
further.
the story too.
I got to get to the real combat. Not that beginning stuff, and really see how I feel about it. But yeah, I agree. I do agree with you with that. I think the story was already intriguing. Like where I was, like I was like, okay, this is interesting. Like,
Yeah, it gets better because yeah,
The story, but also the ability to travel through time. That shit was phenomenal.
See, this is why we don't talk about games with
This is
Omar.
why I got quiet.
Yeah, I
I was
know.
just like, oh.
I know.
It's not a
I know. I
spoiler.
know. I know.
It's literally in the trailer.
Anyway, but yes, I got to play more of that. So and see where the story goes. So I definitely plan to do that and jump into that more. But with that, we're going to jump into the rest of these showcases that we still needed to cover because they happened after last week's show. The first one we're going to cover because I think everybody's will relatively be the same. There's some very, very obvious big announcements that happened at the Nintendo showcase. And Morgan,
Freedom Mart is alive.
I am going to let you go first, ma'am, because you just watched it. So it is extra fresh in your mind. So, what were, I guess in your case, what we'll do since, um, what was your game of the show? And what would you rate the show? We'll just keep it simple because it wasn't super long. Right, unless Morgan's not ready.
Mind you, I was just talking while I was muted.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, my bad, my bad, my bad, my bad.
I figured.
Uh, yeah, you already know what my game of the show is. It's Final Fantasy Resonance. Like, it was literally what I've been asking from Square Enix this entire time. Like, y'all know me since I played Octopath 1. I have said Final Fantasy needs to do what Octopath did. I have been saying this for years now,
You
and it
have.
feels like Square Enix heard me and was like, "Okay, say less." And now we got Final Fantasy Resonance, which looks so freaking good. Okay, and again, shout out to Team Asono because again, that this is Team Asono creatively being a part of this, and the same team that did Octopath. So again, they are killing it when it comes to like the 2D, the HD 2D JRPG genre right now. They're like all in, and I could tell. I knew immediately that this was. I was like, okay, this looks like Team Asono, and it when they confirmed it, I was like, okay, cool. We're locked in then, because it
Mm-hmm.
looks amazing. The animations look fantastic. Like I love they're pushing it even more with the HDness. If you can make that to a term, the HDness of it.
I know what
Like
you mean.
yeah, it just looks like so good. Like it just like the colors they use, the color palette they use, the 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 darkness that looks like it's going to be like how much darker it is than Octopath, because whenever they kind of, even though Octopath has a dark story, right? But
Yeah,
even
it
when
does.
they advertise Octopath, it's usually like with the bright lights and the colors, which I love because they're great. But this seemed to be the way they're marketing it just seems a lot darker. Like it's going to be a lot
Yeah,
darker. That would be cool. I don't know if it is going to be, but that seems to be kind of how they're tailoring the trailer and everything like that. Like I said, then the fact that it's Final Fantasy, right? And you're going to be seeing a lot of they said they're going to see a main character from all of the main Final Fantasy titles will be present in this game. And they'll be almost like in the form of personas. And I'm like, oh my God. So I get the mix of Octopath with Persona. Oh my God. So I got like even more excited when they were explaining it. And then, I watched the 20-minute gameplay segment where they showed like two boss fights and it looked amazing. I'm liking this idea that they're doing of when the quote unquote persona does their move, it turns into kind of like it's all of a sudden turned into like a 3D game. And you see like the 3D character model of Cloud, and you see 3D character models of the different characters and they do their little unique animation, and then the move happens, and then yeah, it all looked really good. So of course the one time that I don't I decide not to watch the Nintendo Direct live is when they decide to like actually show games that I'm interested in, because every other time I'm like, sure, let's watch the Nintendo Direct, and I walk away like, it was all right. Like nothing that I would play, nothing that I'm really that interested in, or the things I am interested in. I'm like, it's not really enough to get me to get a Switch. It's like one little side game that it looks good, but I'm not gonna get a Switch over that.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, the one time I'm like, I'll just sleep in then I come back, then I get on Twitter and everybody's like, "Oh my God, that Nintendo Direct," and I'm like, "Man, what the fuck?" So, yeah, I've been all in on this. Like, the only thing that's missing, obviously, like I've been saying, the only thing that's missing is a steelbook for me to, pre-order and lock in. But I'm gonna get it. Obviously, I'm gonna get the game regardless. I'm there day one. It's coming out my B-Day month, so it's like it's destined to be. Okay. Um, I wish it would come out sooner. Like I would love like another July or August game, but I'll take it. I'm just glad it's coming out this year. I'll take it. I'm definitely playing this day one. I gotta put it. I'm starting a collection of 2D HD JRPGs. I'm just gonna I'm putting in the collection over here to
Yeah.
like try to play. Like, 'cause I'm gonna try to play the Adventures of Elliot 2. So I'm gonna have that, and then I'm gonna get this game. It's just gonna be great. Like I'm totally excited about this game. It looks fantastic, and from the um from online, like it seems like a lot of people are really excited about this game because a lot of people seem to have the same mindset that I had. They've been waiting for Final Fantasy to kind of come back to its origins of like turn-based, and people are really hype about it, which I'm happy about because I want this to be a big seller because I want Square Enix to get it in their head that people actually like turn-based games because for some reason they are determined to believe that turn-based is just not really something they should invest in when it comes to like at least their AAA games. They're like, oh yeah, no, we'll give it to you, with like the 2D and the smaller games, but Western games are gonna do action because that's what people in the West like, and I'm just like, I'm people in the West, and I want I want turn based. Give us turn based. So I'm hoping that this will sell really well, and it'll wake up the Square Enix executives to hopefully that since this did good, they'll want to apply it to their AAA sector, and maybe Final Fantasy 17 could maybe be turn based. Who knows? But maybe that's a big hope. But or big cope or whatever. But yeah, either way, Final Fantasy Resonance was my game of the show. And you asked for the score, right? Okay, I'm just gonna assume yeah. Okay.
What would you score it?
Um, Nintendo Direct. I'm gonna give it like a solid 8 because it had some really good games in there. I didn't care about everything, but they ended they showed really cool and they ended great with a game I'm sure was Weeb's game, so I'm not gonna go into it.
Probably.
But yeah, I thought it was a solid show, especially for like I said, where I'm not usually interested in directs. I usually don't even bother rating directs because I'm like it's no
It's
pun
usually
intended,
it's
not
usually
not really
consists of
directed
literally
towards me.
nothing that you play. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's not for me, so it's not for me to rate, But this one was really good and it had a lot of games that I was interested in, so I will give it a solid 8. It was a really good show. I don't know what people are talking about where it wasn't a good direct, but I guess everybody's tastes are different. But yes, that's how I feel.
Which
Final
is
Fantasy.
even more weird, right? Because those games that weren't really your taste are someone else's taste. So it's like they
Yeah.
had the Pocopia, they were expanding that. You know, they showed some Star Fox stuff. Like they showed quite a few things. So
Yep.
I
Fire
thought it was,
Emblem for you.
yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was weird that people were just like, oh, only if you like these two games, it was good. And I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, it was
Yeah.
great for
It
me,
had, it
but
had a lot. Started off a little slow. I was like, why are we starting off with
it
this
was,
music game?
yeah, it was definitely slow.
All right, cool. But yeah, it got there. That's the point. It got there. So yeah, great showing for Nintendo. Kudos to them. I'm glad all the big three had a really good showing. It was a really good um summer showcase week. It was or weeks. Um, this new E3 has been, at least for 2026, has been very good. It seems like all gamers, whether regardless of what platform you have, it seems like everybody kind of got satiated. Everybody got some game they want. So that's always a good thing. That's always a good thing to walk away from when it comes to the summer showcases. So really good showings this year.
I agree. It's been an incredible set of showcases this year. Like I said, weirdly enough, the one, the only like surprise is that the show that's been our favorite show the last 2 years running, like we said, is just wasn't our favorite show. But even then, it still wasn't really a bad show. It just that like that's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if it's one of the shows got to go down for all the other shows to go up, hey, like I'm here for it. Um, but Weeb, uh, your game of the show, for Nintendo and your score, sir.
Uh, well, you know it. Muramasa Revenant Blades was my game of the show. Was the one that got away, the one Vanillaware title that didn't get a remaster or re-release or whatever. That was orphaned on the Wii. Oh no, sorry, on the Wii and the Vita. So both consoles that no longer being made. And particularly the Vita version was the one that I played because I have the Wii version, but the Vita had the additional content and additional scenarios that were exclusive to that platform, that device. And now we're getting it in all its glory, and I'm sure it's going to be enhanced, just like Odin Sphere did. Because probably the version did have, I think, a bit of frame rate issues sometimes, but I mean, yeah, I'm so happy that it's finally coming. Like it's my favorite Vanillaware game, and they're saying a lot, plenty of bangers, but that game is the perfect storm. It's the classic Vanillaware combat style, like 2D hack and slash, like you have with Odin Sphere, and that incredible, dark, dramatic story where it's both philosophical and also sort of bittersweet. Like there's it's pretty, it starts as pretty simple as sort of a revenge story, and then it's getting complicated. And I just love the art style, the sort of drenched in Japanese lore. All the enemies are yokai, and yeah, and you have you can collect, like, I don't know, dozens of swords that they all have their different abilities. So yeah, I'm so excited. I already pre-ordered the Wii, no, the Switch 2 version, the US version, because it's the only one that actually has the game on card. Because apparently they fought to get it on card instead of making the game key cards, just like like the European and pretty much everywhere else. And I'm waiting for another store to find the PS5 version, so that I can sort of double dip, make sure that I get that collector's edition or that limited edition with the art book. And um, I think there was something else included in there. But like I mean, Vanillaware, it's all about the art, so you definitely wanna, if you can get an art book, you want to get that one. Yeah, I mean, that was like the biggest surprise for me from the entire not E3 week. And I'm over the moon. I'm so happy that finally I'm able to play that game, on my PlayStation. Um, so that play of great announcements in the entire show. Would also rate it like an 8. Like initially, like when I was watching, like those shows that probably could have been an email, and then once it stopped or started, with the hits, I think, like right at the moment when Fire Emblem was showing, then they suddenly came out, with the Final Fantasy 2D HD game announcement. I think that Kingdom Hearts 4 as well. So yeah, I mean, they had plenty of announcements. Like Nintendo somehow just came out, like it sort of pulled the wool over your eyes. Like, you think this is a normal direct? No. We
Yeah.
got
Mhm.
we we got some surprises in store. But again, like we're Masa Revenant Blades, as they call it, instead of Demon Blade. Like, yeah, I mean, that to me is my game of the show. So yeah.
I'm really interested in that one game that they showed really quick. You know how they always do that montage of like 5 games that they just kind of quickly go over. That it's a remaster of PS1 games, but I never got to play it. To JRPG Tales of Esternia. think it's called. I wish listed it.
Eternia. Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
yeah, one of the Tale series games. Yeah.
yeah, it looked really good, and I was surprised that they quickly just kind of went over that. It's coming out, I guess, next year, and it's coming on PlayStation as well. So, yeah, that
Yeah,
looks really good.
yeah, they're pretty much remastering every single Tales game they ever made. Like I'm
Hmm.
just buying them all physically just for the collect, and I don't know when I have the time to play them, but yeah,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, Tales games are always yeah, good. It's
Long,
just
eh?
huh?
They're long, 100 hours. Mostly story
They're
only
absolutely
50
long,
hours.
but when they're good, they're hitting really
When they're
hard.
good, they're good. Yeah,
Tales
yeah, I
of
agree.
Berseria is still one of my favorite JRPGs of all time because
Never
that
played that
Okay.
story
one.
hit incredibly hard. Yeah, well, you should, Omar, because that's the best Tales game they ever made.
Yeah. So it's correction. It's coming out this year. It's coming October. So yeah, another October game. I gotta put
You.
that next to fucking Final Fantasy. Two big JRPGs. All right. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
As of October, didn't have enough games.
Right.
All right, Omar, what was your game of the show and your
Yeah,
rating for the Nintendo Direct?
We already know his.
so I don't know if you guys remember, but we actually covered it where at least one of the shareholder was asking Square Enix a question: why don't they go back to old school Final Fantasy? And I'm curious if this is the result of it. If that's the case, good on
This
shareholder actually
they've
giving
been converting this game for the last couple of years. So no,
yeah, no, but that's mobile, right? Gotcha. But when you remove the gotcha element
I no,
and
that is not what I'm talking about.
uh,
It took them years to retrofit this game and rework it from the ground up. So this isn't like, oh, we shut down the game last year and we just converted the game in a year. Like they've been working on porting this game for years already. Like that's why they said people need to understand a lot like Octopath Traveler 0, this was years in the making. They just had some
Yeah.
of the assets because of the mobile
Yeah.
game.
then
When I when I watched it,
then
the breakdown, they
exact
were saying that this was kind of like a yes, it has elements of the mobile, but it's completely new game. They built upon what the mobile did, but they're adding whole, new elements to this one game. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
then it makes you question will 17 be turn based or not?
Oh,
Then if
we'll
that's the
see.
case, we might have not gotten the answer that was asked by that shareholder. Going back to it, and no, I didn't watch the what you call it, the Nintendo Showcase, mostly because of my internet. However, I did get a lot of information just from you guys and from Twitter alone. And let me just say, I apologize to Weeb. I said it in a joke way, but I legit didn't believe him when he said Kingdom Hearts 4 was on Nintendo Showcase. I thought he was joking. But yeah, no, long and behold, Kingdom Hearts is up there, and for the people that are saying I hate realistic Kingdom Hearts, I'm like, did you even play Kingdom Hearts game? I'm asking you because Kingdom Hearts been realistic far more before than in 4. And I'm super, super, super excited about the new power up system in the game. I, as always, I'm not ashamed to say it. I literally have no idea what's happening with the story. Literally, characters that look like Noxus from Final Fantasy uh, 15. Other than that, uh, I forgot what's called the game that we were talking about, I had no idea it was a linear game outside of when it was first announced. I did see we excitement about it, and then I'm reminded why, because one of the best games for me ever I played story wise is 13 Sentinels, and this is a vanillaware game. And if Manamsuna played as amazing as we were saying to be, I can't wait for this one. You can play as 9 different characters, and you telling me each character have its own skills and stuff like that, and its own crybaby backstory. Yeah, absolutely. Sign me up.
Yeah, to be clear, the main game has 2 characters, and the rest is sort of their side story. So they're not. Uh, you can't play as all the
Oh,
characters in
so
the
it's
main
not
story.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, but still, I'm happy what I'm gonna get. Um, I can't wait for that one as well. All by all, yeah, no. Square Enix came in and they said, "You're gonna watch the showcase. Are you gonna be excited?" And I saw what's the most viewed game out there, and Final Fantasy beaten Revelation, which is that's all after. I'm super excited for the new Final Fantasy. I'm super excited for Kingdom Hearts. Word on the street is coming out next year, so we will see. All by all, Square, a phenomenal few weeks, few days,
All in all, Omar.
and
Remember,
we.
not all by all. You
Yeah,
gotta
thank
stop.
you.
You
All in
gotta stop
all,
saying that.
sorry. That that's my issue. That's literally Dutch.
No,
Uh,
Omar is not Larry Dutch, but
it is. I always say it, but okay. So yeah, no. Square Enix is on fire. Can't wait.
Yeah,
And like I said, at
I don't know if
October.
I don't know if I'd say they're on fire, but we'll see what happens.
Oh,
Yeah.
Revelation with take it or leave it. Okay, yeah, no, it's fair because for you, but for someone like me, Kingdom Hearts, you even for you, like you're excited for the Dragon Quest, aren't you?
No, not really.
Okay, so
I am
then
though.
not on fire.
I mean, you're always excited for Dragon Quest.
It,
We already knew that. I was
for me,
excited
it's
for the Dragon
on
Quest
fire because
that I said we were gonna get, and then they changed it. That's the Dragon Quest I was excited for.
Oh man.
But they changed it, and because they were gonna go darker and they were gonna do all this other stuff that they were talking about, and then they rebooted the development. But yeah, I mean, I can't be excited about
do we
Dragon
know
Quest
if the
yet.
story is
I
gonna
haven't
be
even
as
seen
dark or not?
anything. The story is not going to be dark, bro. Did you not see what they showed? No, it's not going to be dark. But I can't be excited for it yet.
Hold
So
up, sir. Hold up, sir. I do need to
Oh,
correct you. Have you played
Um,
11? That
yes,
story is
I
yes,
super
beat
fucking
I
good.
11.
am
I beat
seeing.
11 like 5 years ago. Okay, it's not
Yeah,
dark.
yes, it is.
Okay, we disagree. We can agree to disagree. That shit is not dark.
I disagree to agree.
I
Yeah.
disagree
We'll
too.
talk about it after because that one bitch dying is not dark. But yeah, but I'm not gonna specify who it was because I don't want to spoil it for nobody. But yeah, that wasn't dark for me.
Me looking up that bitch. Okay.
That's why I was non-specific.
You just have a very twisted mind. So
He's like,
that's what you just admitted.
he's desensitized to all of it. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
I mean, to be
but
fair,
but yeah,
after
no, to answer your
Activision
question,
that
no, you already know. Number one, I don't get excited about shit I have not seen. They barely showed Dragon Quest after that reboot. I'm not about to get excited about nothing. Like I'm not a fan of the franchise like that, so I'm not just gonna be automatically excited just because they acknowledge that it existed. They need to actually show something that actually gets into the gameplay and all that stuff for me to get excited. So no, I get other people are excited for where Square's at. Square has not recovered for me yet. Square is on the right path for a lot of things, but I also don't really like. I don't really care about Kingdom Hearts either. So while you are excited for that, and a ton of people are, and I think that's great for people who are excited about that. It doesn't do anything for me, and you already know I didn't even finish Rebirth. So yeah, Resonance is about
You
the
didn't
only
finish
thing they're
Yeah,
doing.
Rebirth?
No,
I'm,
I was
I'm
bored.
already, I'm,
Damn.
I'm done with this Revelation story, but I just want the gameplay because I love Vincent, Sid, and everything like that, and it's just part of my uh, growing up moments. So yeah, no, I'm excited for Revelation for the gameplay only. Story, I don't care about the story.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I mean the gameplay from Revelations look good, but that's I don't again like I can't even be excited about the story because I mean Rebirth was just kind of for me, which is
They
again
destroyed the story with Rebirth, not gonna lie.
yeah like ironically like now that it's being discussed more, like I find quite a few people actually found Rebirth's story pretty boring. Um, but again, like I said, like if you're a major fan, like some people, they're essentially like the Final Fantasy VII remake can do no wrong. So it's like I can't like I need people to be more. I gotta have conversations with people who can be
Nah,
objective.
I'm not that person, luckily.
Yeah. So yeah, seeing people discuss it openly on like Twitter after Revelations was announced. Somebody I know who's definitely a really big fan. I thought it was interesting because she was saying that um, she found it boring, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Obviously, the thing with Chadley and all this other stuff. I don't know. That's another weird trope, right? By the way, that I don't understand what's with Square's developers right now. Like they have like weird hills they want to die on, like about certain things that like people overtly hated in Rebirth, and they're like, yeah, but we're gonna bring it back because they're like
Yeah,
Oh
the
yes, the mini games like Brain Dead. Are you Brain Dead?
well, no, I mean
People are asking for less mini games.
specifically Chadley, like he was annoying as hell. Like some people are obviously being funny, like no, I loved him. He was great.
Who?
He was like everywhere,
Chadley.
bro. If you forgot that motherfucker who was literally everywhere, as much as you played Rebirth, there is no
This
way
man
you
keep talking
forgot
about
that
Rebirth, but
man.
don't remember
No,
Chadley.
I didn't hear the name. No, I know it is. Yeah, no. He was obnoxious. Him and his little sister. Well,
This
either
man
way.
everywhere. Poof. What do you need? Poof. What do you need? Poof. Like I was just like, oh my god, bro, why are you everywhere? Like, and they're like, but
Can we
like
turn
they're
you off?
the
Like, yeah.
director's like laughing
Can
about it like it's a joke. Like, no, people were dead serious when they said he was annoying. Like that wasn't a joke. Like, like they're like, huh, yeah, some people, will feel a certain type of way, but Chadley will probably make a return. And I was like, dude, that's not funny. Like, I was like, so I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna finish it, eventually. I've already invested in it twice. I'll finish the final. Like I said, the gameplay for, um, is it Vincent or whatever, looked really good. Um, so yeah, I mean, I hope it's as good as it looks. Hopefully, they've made some adjustments to the NPCs so they're not so stupid when you're not directly controlling them, because that drove me crazy. Um, but yeah, yeah, that's what I said. Like Square,
I hope they did that with Kingdom Hearts.
exactly.
That's a big hope.
Yeah, like there's that's what I said. Like I'm excited for the direction they are potentially going, but they're not there yet for me. Like they gotta
It
produce.
seems, to me, that one comment was so fucking tone deaf. We can talk about it next week. The one where he is like, JRPG, streaming is killing JRPG. I'm like, yeah, no.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because like again, that's another thing that he said on
They
top
don't
of
know when to
multiple
fuck that
things.
up, eh?
Well, it's another thing that he said on top of multiple other things that they've said, that they keep giving excuses as to why they're having trouble selling or why this and that. And I'm like, but but everybody else has the same problem. So why is it affecting no one else? And it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's not a unique issue to him. People stream all kinds of games. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's a whole thing, but
Oh,
yeah, Resonance, like I said, looks
Dispatch
good,
got
and I'm getting
streamed.
that. Yeah, Dispatch is another one that got streamed. Exactly. Like, that is a game
And
that
look where
literally
they are now.
people thought like, oh, people will just watch people play it because it doesn't have that much gameplay and so on and so forth. Not only did I play it, but I bought it for my nephew and I bought it for another friend, and then I watched her play it because I wanted her to understand that she could not watch it. She needed to play it. And then when she played it, she understood what I meant, and she freaking loved it. And I was like, see, it makes a big difference when you play the game. And that game, like you said, sold like crazy. So,
It's
yeah,
almost like you're supposed to game instead of watch. Maybe that's just me.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a big difference. Um, but yeah, what was your rating for the Nintendo show?
Me a 9.
Okay, cool. Yeah, as for me, everybody already knew. Like, I'm not gonna give the game of the show because I've already been excited for Fire Emblem for years at this point. So, I mean, I'm glad I got a release date and the showing looked really phenomenal. Obviously, I'm excited about that. Pre-ordered the collector's edition, but um, then of course they did the announcement for the Xenoblade games, which is another big request for me, where I wanted all the games updated. I hate that some of them are kind of far. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is July 30th, which isn't as bad, but the update for 3 isn't until December 3rd, which is kind of weird, because that's super far out. Um, but yeah, that either way, we got updates for those, plus some added bonuses and equipment and other things, and some adjustments to gameplay. So yeah, they feel like they did a great job on those. But my game of the show, 100% is Xenoblade Genesis. Um, that game first showing looked insane. I like the whole vibe of the trailer. Like, that world just looks like it's going to be incredible to explore. It always is. In the Xenoblade world, they always just create some of the most incredible worlds, and getting to see them design a a world from the ground up with the Switch 2's power, it's going to be incredible. Like, some of the systems they kind of showed that were going to be in place, where they talk about there's like an academy system going on where you're going to this school and I guess taking missions and doing some other stuff. So it's kind of giving me that, like, that everybody's calling it jokingly Xenoblade Three Houses, which is funny because I get why people are saying that. But yeah, definitely the school more gives me like Harry Potter, so it's gonna be like Hogwarts vibes. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a ton of places to explore, like there always is in these titles. Like I said, I think they're gonna probably go bigger than ever with the Switch 2's power behind them. They've done some incredible stuff, even back on, you know, um, even back on the Wii U and stuff, when things were just really weird and you needed like an external hard drive just to hold the game on there. So I think they're just gonna just shock everybody when this comes out, and it's 100% a day one. So yeah, shout out to Nintendo. Like I said, they did that thing. Obviously, nobody, shockingly, probably for anybody listening, is that none of us said our game of the show was the one that's probably big for a lot of people, which was the Zelda remake announcement for Ocarina of Time.
I
Um,
thought that would be Weebs.
yeah, I heard, by the way you said it, I knew, and then I was like, nah, he's gonna say. But then I thought about it after you said it, and I
Yeah, I
was like,
forgot Vanillaware was
the
there,
the
so yeah.
Vanillaware, yeah.
I
I
But
like how
knew
we all
that
had.
Did
That's
you
how
too.
you know
did
how
you
good the
not see
show
the
is, though. We
leak?
all had different game of the show. You know.
yep,
Did you not see the leak?
what are you talking about?
You're talking to me.
The Zelda, I knew it was gonna be there.
I mean, there's a bunch of crap that leaks all the time that's never there. So I mean, people have been leaking Ocarina of Time for like 6 years, so eventually they would be right. I mean, yeah, but but yeah, overall, like I said, the show was really good. It's probably like an 8 for me. They had quite a few things that I wasn't interested in, but I felt like the pacing was really good. Even with the stuff that I wasn't really interested in, they kind of mixed it up real well. Um, it's shocking how big of a difference um, it can make in your show where you put things. Um, so kind of spreading them out, pacing them, and like I said, they even gave some a lot more content to people who are playing Pokopia, which is one of their more popular titles right now. Like people have been playing Pokopia like crazy. Um, and then apparently this is like a ton of new content, free update plus paid DLC. So yeah, I mean honestly, I felt like that show really took care of everybody, and that was probably the more incredible thing about it. And it reinvigorated some of their older titles with Xenoblade, because I have seen a ton of people on my timeline either playing um, the definitive edition for the first time or going to play jumping in on um, Xenoblade Chronicles X. I even saw that the Food for Dogs, which is like the older lady that plays JRPGs and stuff, she went and picked up a Switch 2. And then I seen like honestly just a gang of people picking up Switch 2s after that event. So like obviously it's supposed to go up in September by like $50 or something, but like a ton of people were just like I had to have one after that show. There was at least one or two games in that show where people were like, I had to have it. And I totally get it. Like I said, I'm glad have it as well. Um, yeah, what's up, C Fresh? But yeah, again, great show by Nintendo. Let's jump into the Xbox showcase next. Um, like I said, taking place a little
Cinema
before.
showcase. Nothing happened.
Yeah, the showcase was good. Overall, I enjoyed um, the Xbox showcase. They showed quite a few things. Um, obviously Gears E Day was the headliner, which we all knew going in. They showed some extended footage for that. Um, showed a little bit of Clockwork, some more. They showed Metro 2039, um, State of Decay, Fable. They ran the gambit. They ran it down. So we'll do the same thing with this one. Your game of the show. You can mention other highlights if you really want to, and then your score for the Xbox showcase. Um, so this time I will start with Weeb. Weeb, uh, what was your game of the show for the Xbox showcase, and what was your score?
Um, yeah, I mean, I didn't actually enjoy it that much. It's mostly because of, yeah, a lot of the games were already announced. Um, and yeah, I mean, wasn't really like, and of course, obligatory stuff, oh yeah, 76 update, Elder Scroll
You
Line,
like
yeah,
that Sea of Thieves update? What?
Sea of Thieves, yeah, like, come on, give it a rest already. Um, yeah, what's the game of the show? I mean, I don't know. Like, I
Probably
mean,
Clockwork for you. Oh wait, you said Clockwork. You didn't like second showing.
no, no, no. Yeah, I mean, look at like the game that I'm most excited about is the new Castlevania, but I mean that's already announced, so I'm not gonna uh, give them credit for showing a game that's already was already gonna come out. I mean, Vivarium looked pretty good, yeah, I mean, and that's technically a console exclusive, since it's probably not coming to PlayStation for the time being, unless it's coming to Switch. I don't know.
Which
Um,
game?
Vivarium, that Ghibli looking game.
Mhm.
Uh,
The one that I knew was gonna be exclusive. I was like, watch.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's the Curse of Morgan.
Uh-huh. Every time.
I mean, we're getting a new Spyro. That's something. But other than that, like I mean, like a lot of these games that E-Day, like the idea appealed to me, and then the more they showed, the less appealing it became to me because it was just another Gears, like as soon as they dropped the civic clothes and they went back to the I don't know whatever their uniform is, like, oh come on, this is just Gears, this is just like what's the difference here between the other ones? Like, I mean, yeah, they turn it into an exclusive so that we're console exclusive at the last minute. It's pretty hilarious. But I mean, and look, I applaud them for at least trying. But then it's pretty. It's a band-aid. I don't know who said like an A/B test. They're announcing two games are gonna come exclusive, and everything else has come to place. Even the games that they didn't, confirm before or
Mm-hmm.
even announce before, are coming to PlayStation.
I don't know. Those
I
had news
mean that.
beforehand. We remember.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's kind of the interesting thing I found is that you know remember when they were accusing Sony of having sort of the Sony template, like, okay, what's up with all these games, Xbox games looking the same, like Valor Mortis, Clockwork or Revolution, that Magician game, like they all have that same art style. I'm like, bro, like,
That 2005 Bioshock kind of looking thing going
yeah,
on.
They all look
yeah.
like, no joke, they all look like Dishonored.
Bruh,
Yeah.
not Dishonored again. He brought up
No, no, no,
Dishonored
but
again.
but
I
but
love
but
Like,
it.
he
no,
he,
but
he is
we
right.
have
He is
a
right.
joke
That was
about
the
it,
first thing I was thinking about when I
but
saw, like, oh, bruh,
legit
really?
I think
that
that's why he
design.
kept guessing everything was Dishonored.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Dishonored.
yeah.
It's like,
No,
look
no.
at it. I'm like, this Dishonored. It literally looks Dishonored. That.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is the same style, our style. Yeah, yeah.
Considering they closed
So,
that studio, I hope it was never Dishonored.
yeah, um, yeah. So overall, I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't really excited for anything. Like even like, yeah, they have new DLC for Doom Dark Age, but like, Doom the Dark Age is the least interesting one of the three new Doom games, and yeah, I don't know. For me, it's a 6 um,
Oh
out
damn.
of 10. That's it.
Cool. Morgan, what was your game of the show for the Xbox showcase? And what was your score, ma'am?
Yeah, just like the Nintendo Direct, you already know. Like, State of Decay 3. All right, I've been asking for this game for forever. And we finally actually got some real gameplay, and I want people to understand um what the definition of gameplay is, because they would swear like, no, we got gameplay the last time. I'm like, yeah, when you like, I'm not talking about gameplay where if you blink you miss it type shit. Like, oh well, you had to go back to 15 seconds. It was showing it for like, for from 15 to 17 seconds. That little snippet right there was gameplay, and I'm like, bro, come on, like, I don't care about that. Like, show some like legit gameplay. It wasn't like a big gameplay breakdown or anything like that, but we did actually get to see what the player's gonna look like, kind of what the layout's gonna be, kind of what it is that we're going to be doing, and then they had like a kind of a, a deep dive with the developers later. Um, they had released like a couple days after the show, where they talked more about State of Decay and kind of what their goal is for this game, and the fact that I'm really excited about the fact that it's untethered multiplayer, meaning like you don't all have to be there at the same time. Like, if me, Nate, and whoever are playing this game, and only one of us can be on at one time, we don't have to wait for whoever's hosting to be on to play. We can all just play individually. Like, if like I said, if we're busy or whatever, and we can add to
Or like
our
Borderlands.
base. Oh sure, I don't know if Borderlands is that, but sure. Um, but yeah, that was one of the biggest things that people really wanted from the original State of Decays, and they're adding it to this, and then there's going to be a bigger world, and the zombies are actually going to be attacking your base now, and I'm just excited to see. I really want to see the base building aspect because they haven't really covered that part of it yet. So I'm really excited to see more information about that. And they obviously the most exciting thing for me was that it was coming to PS5 because again that was not originally announced. Like they never announced which platforms it was going to be on initially when obviously back in 2020 before the whole multiplayer strategy even started, and then once the multi-platform strategy started, we still didn't know, and then Asha came in, so things were changing. So that was really the only game I cared about being on PlayStation. Like I can play Xbox games, I don't need an Xbox, but with live service games, there's a lot of hours involved, a lot of online involved, and I didn't want to deal with that on GeForce Now. So the fact that it was coming to PlayStation and it's going to be PS5 Pro enhanced at that, so I was like, oh yes, please, absolutely, give me that. That was my
Damn,
game
it's
of the
Pro
show.
and N?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Um.
That let you know that I actually put some effort in it.
Yeah. I mean, they want to sell it, so makes sense. Uh. But yeah, that was definitely my game of the show, and I'm glad we got to see it. It looks really cool. I like the idea of these bloaters and you're throwing bombs at them and you're trying to you know, I think that was kind of the point of the trailer that they wanted to show that somebody could be out there by themselves doing something because then you call that person that was in trouble called their teammates to come out and help them. So they were out there gathering or something, and then all their teammates showed up to help them with the hive, the nest of the infected zombies or whatever. So yeah, I can't wait to get more information on that. 2027 release date, cool. Hopefully it makes it because this big game has been in the works for forever. And anybody who knows anything about State of Decay knows that every fucking State of Decay has released in a buggy, terrible mess. But it seems like they've kind of fixed that a little bit with this. And from the people who have play tested it, because there's a current play test open right now, they say it's amazing, it's addictive, and they love it. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's really all I need to know. So I'm very happy. And I'm in line with moving on with Year's E Day. I'm in line with what Weeb said. Like initially when I saw that that first trailer, dark, it was gritty. Obviously it's E Day, the start of the invasion. So it's going to be where like 80% of the population in the game was like wiped out or whatever. So it's supposed to be dark and you know scary and things like that. And I was like initially interested, and I was like, oh my god, it's E-Day. Okay, cool. We're gonna see like the origins of Marcus and all that kind of stuff and everything like that with the gears. But yeah, seeing the gameplay, I mean, it looks good. Like, it looks great. As far as like fidelity goes. It's using UE5, and the coalition is very talented devs when it comes to one of the few talented devs who know how to handle Unreal Engine and do it correctly. So it looks great. It looks like it's playing smooth, but like we've said, it just kind of looks like more gears. Like, no, I don't know if I was expecting something different or maybe just obviously I wasn't expecting them to go completely different from what Gears has always been because Gears is a certain game, it plays a certain way.
Well,
But
we
I
did.
don't know.
Everybody's been wondering
No, 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 I was,
how different they were willing to go,
Yeah,
and I mean,
I
like
was,
we said, they got to keep it Gears enough, but
yeah,
is it still too close? Is the question. Like, are you really
yeah.
gonna pull in these people? Like, some of these people
It
are
just
thinking it's
kind
gonna do
of
crazy numbers, and I'm just like, I don't think so.
like I'm still gonna play it. I'm still gonna play it day one.
Yeah.
But it's just it just kind of looks like more Gears, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I was just thinking they were gonna kind of do something a little different with E-Day.
I was
Um,
expecting something like a full reboot.
I wasn't expecting
Because we
that, but
kept hearing about it being a reboot.
I didn't hear anybody say it was gonna be a reboot. But um, yeah, I was just expecting something a little different. But it's fine. Like it looks really good.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know
does.
how, like you said, I don't know how it'll do exclusive wise for them. I don't expect to see many people like driving out to get Xboxes to play E-Day.
I mean, I think
Not
I
that
think I do think the numbers would have been.
Literally on
I think the
PC,
numbers would
so
have been astronomical if they were on PS5, just because
maybe.
this would be the first like mainline one, like that's not just a remake. Like,
Yeah.
I think it would have went big just for like novelty sake, because that seems to work on a lot of people. I mean, not necessarily us. Like, we were just gonna pick it up to play co-op or whatever, but for novelty sake, I think that alone would have netted it. Like, it would have hit 5 million sales pretty easy, and I think this time around, I think 5 million sales is going to be the struggle, unless it comes out. With the exception of if it comes out and it scores like a 90 plus, is that I think that's
Yeah,
the
and
only
it's
way.
coming out, and I think another thing that crowded window of it's October, right? That Gears is coming out, and there are a lot of games
There's a
coming
ton of
out.
games because you're competing.
Coming
It's
out.
coming out
You need
early
to buy a
October.
console just to
Yeah,
play one game.
yeah, because
I don't see
especially a
people
lot of
doing
games
that.
coming out at the end of September as well.
Exactly.
That are crowding into that, leading into October. So yeah, it's got some competition. But this is the bet that Xbox leadership is taking. So I guess we'll see if it works out. That's Hey, they're betting on Xbox, so let them do it. Um, but other than that, Fable looks good. Fable did, interestingly enough, they did a deep dive on Fable later, where they did like a 30-minute gameplay. They released like a couple days after the show. It's really cool where they show like the sim elements of it, where obviously if you're a Fable fan, um, the sim life aspects of Fable are a very big part of Fable, and it looked really good. They showing like the relationships and you buying businesses and buying houses, and then being the good guy, quote unquote, and then what happens if you kind of turn evil, and the fact that they're really leaning into the fact that there's no black and white when it comes to good and evil, like there's gray. Even if you do something good, somebody can consider that, you know, what's good to one person isn't necessarily good to another. And I know some people are really hell bent on the black and white version of Fable, because that's what the fundamentals of Fable was. It's always like you're good. If you're good, you're good to everybody, and if you're bad, you're bad to everyone. So this is kind of like a departure from that. But I like the fact that it's not everybody is gonna you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, essentially. Even if you do everything good, you help everyone, you give money to people. Some people might think, oh, they're just doing that. Some town person might think, oh, you're just doing that for brownie points. You're not necessarily a good person. You're just trying to win people favor. So I like that aspect of it. I'm interested to see how that plays out and how far that branches out, because obviously there's multiple different towns, multiple different things you can do. Like I said, I plan on being a deadbeat, essentially, leaving my children with their multiple fathers. Yeah, that's probably happening for me. Um, but we'll see how people interpret that and interpret my character from that. But yeah, I'm really excited about Fable. Kind of sucks that we got the delay, but again, 2026 is packed. I probably would have been juggling that the same way I've been juggling these kind of 5 games that came out in May, that I'm still trying to finish off. So it's probably good that it got delayed and it can get its time to shine in February. But now February is crowded as well. So again, it's like nowhere you go is safe. Wherever you try to hide, everybody else is doing the same thing. But it's because especially when it comes to like bigger AAA games, because they're trying to meet the window of their cutoff dates, and trying to meet the shareholder cutoff dates and things like that. So it's like everybody's kind of stacking in February, because that's where the quarter ends. So yeah, interesting. I'll give yeah I'm in line with Weeb. Like I'm gonna give like the Xbox Showcase like a 7, because honestly, it was like a bunch of rehashes of things we kind of already knew existed. Because again, in 2020,
I agree with that.
Xbox kind of, decided to show their whole hand, because they didn't have anything to release for the Series X, so they decided to tell everyone their entire lineup of of what was coming. And so we obviously all knew about Fable. We all knew, you know, State of Decay 3, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Gears E-Day, we knew about that. Um, Cinnamon was a nice surprise. When they first showed it, I thought it was Hellblade 2 DLC. But, I like the fact that, hey, this is apparently, the next mainline game, and it's actually going to have combat now. and they're talking about it's going to be in-depth combat. So
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
interested
gonna
to
believe
see.
it when I see it
Like I
because,
said,
well, from the
I'm interested
trailer.
in seeing it's actually gonna happen. You know, unlike most people, I actually did like Hellblade 2, but again, I'm a narrative type of gamer, so like I've always stood by this. Like if the story is really good, I can like dismiss okay gameplay. Like I'll just be like, it's whatever. But I mean, I really enjoyed the narrative of Hellblade 2. So I gave it like an 8. Um, but again, that's just me. But I'm excited to see a Hellblade with the potential of actually good combat. That would be nice to see. So that was a big surprise seeing that. That that
That would be a
apparently
unicorn.
they're that quick to release it, and it's coming on PS5, which is also surprising because it's like that was no one even knew that game existed, and I doubt there were any contracts that just had to be upheld with this game that's not coming out until 2027. So I don't even know why that is coming to PS5, but again, I think it's because Hellblade 2, unlike what people have said about how or not well it's done on PS5, the studio has come out and said that the PS5 support was really good for Hellblade 2. And I think that's probably why that they're putting Senua on PS5 because it's a game that most of these Xbox dudes one didn't even finish. They like started for an hour and took a bunch of screenshots and then turned it off. And it's an
It's
expensive
literally a
studio.
3 hour game. So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fact that they didn't even play that is insane.
yeah. And it's an expensive studio to run. Like it's like their top tier mocap studio, and they be flying these dudes out to fucking Greenland every other month for some reason. So I'm pretty sure, like I said, this is a very expensive game, very expensive studio. So they probably just need all hands on deck to support this game when it comes out. And there's already an established fan base for this IP on PlayStation. So I'm guessing these are the reasons why it's coming to PS5. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna give it a 7. Like it was, it I will say it was very well structured. You know, quick. They went from game to game to game. You
Yeah,
know, they
they
had that
definitely did that.
muddling middle section, obviously, with where they got to do their yearly Sea of Thieves and Fallout 76 and fucking Elder Scrolls Online shit that they got to do every fucking year for some reason. Remind people of a game that everybody already knows about. But the pacing was really good. Um, and the games that they showed, looked nice. It was just that these were games that I was already expecting. So you know, but yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool. Omar.
Yeah, so congratulations, Hellblade 2 DLC upon us. And I'm excited about that. Apparently, they found the rest of the game, people. So I can't wait for another 3 hours. And this whole is gonna have a actual combat. Yeah, they said it was two, and look what that turned out. And from the trailer, I didn't see anything new outside of her having her. Yeah, if you know, if you know. Okay, not gonna lie. I had high hope for years, and they still disappointed. Mostly because the way they hyped it up. And I'm like, okay, it's another gear. Cool, I'm gonna play it. Oh, so for some reason, maybe it's just the way people talk about it, and people in my close circle, not you guys. I was expecting a reveal on the level of God of War 2018, but that didn't happen for me. So yeah, um, game of the show for me was absolutely the Magician game, because I'm a huge Magic fan, and this legit speaks to me. Art style wise, legit, I couldn't distinguish between. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Valor game, the game from the people that are formerly known for Shadow, for Ghost Runner. Um, they are now making a single player medieval fantasy game. Uh, that game art style looked good enough. The Napoleon one looked close to Clockwork Revolution, which looked close to um, what you call it, The Magician. Like we've said it as a joke, but it's legit. You can't distinguish these type of games anymore, and it doesn't help that all of them are first-person games. And yeah, no, they need to do something about that because that's not it. Metro is a nice addition. I still need to play Metro 33, so yeah. But I am a fan of Metro. About um, the elephant in the room that nobody talk about. Persona 6 got revealed, everybody, with a fucking logo. Congratulations. Um, so maybe it's new to me, but I found out that Persona people have beef with each other. Apparently, 4 and 3 hate each other, which is which is laughable to see them going at each other for the reveals and stuff like that. That was entertaining. They did show Persona 4, which looked really great. Um, Other than that, yeah, they had the fillers, which, yeah, you gotta pay the bill. You know, some people are playing it. And then what did they end with? Another fucking Call of Duty. And this time in China. And I said it on
Yeah.
off air. I can't wait for them once they do one with Iran. Because you know it's coming. You already know it's coming. Outside of that, a new Spyro game. I'm super excited about that. Um, all in all, I would give this show like a 6. I I don't know. It was the weakest out of all the showcases. The only reason people are hyping up is because too exclusive. I'm like, PlayStation have exclusive too, so why? Also, unlike PlayStation, Xbox, you can literally play them on PC. So I don't get this whole hype. Like, E-Day and Clockwork Revolution doesn't become a better game because it's exclusive. And I just love how the controversy with E-Day, how it was literally was supposed to be on PlayStation for PlayStation, but they pulled it literally out the last second. And then pulled out a trailer was supposed to be for state of play for Halo. Hey, I'm curious what PlayStation is going to be about that. Are they still gonna be Kumbaya or are the gloves off? But yeah, no, the worst shake. No, outside of the dog shit inside gaming showcase, Xbox was dead last when it comes to all showcases that I've seen. That's about it for me. What about you, Nate?
For me, I mean, they showed quite a bit, but like you guys were saying, a lot of the stuff um, had kind of been shown prior. Um, I guess I mean I to pick the same thing, but I mean State of Decay is probably my game of their show. It's the only one that really gave me exactly what I wanted. Some of the other stuff looked interesting, but it wouldn't be high enough to be like my game of the show. Like I thought Plague's Tale Resonant looked good, um, but yeah, I mean that would probably have
But
to
you
be
were
the one.
already sold on this game, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, with the idea that it looked the part though, because my biggest problem
Yeah.
with two is that there's a lot of limitations in place. that I wanted gone. Like the way loot sharing worked was kind of weird. And there's a couple other things. Um, you know, they did show some other stuff though, Metro 2039 and so on. But um, yeah, that always seems like more of the same with Metro. Right now, I see a little bit more from them. Um, but yeah, that's probably easily my game of the show for them. They like I said, they showed quite a bit. Fable looked okay. Um, I know they did the extended gameplay as well. A lot of people really liked it a lot more after they got to see that. But yeah, it was a solid show. I think I'm gonna lean around the same and give like a 7. Because like I said, even though they had some stuff and the pacing was good, a lot of it was stuff that we knew about for a while. Really just getting a release date confirmation or so on and so forth. But yeah. Um, now, now that we talked about the fun stuff, um, Xbox has made some more news following Xbox Fan Fest, and Asha and Nadella, but mainly Asha has been pretty busy doing some of these interviews, talking about uh, addressing her next 100 days and the tough decisions ahead in order to essentially make a sustainable business, right? Um, this the sustainable business thing, coming from even Satya recently, um, which he, I guess, was they weren't specifically talking about Xbox, but they kind of goaded him into talking about it anyway. And he said some very telling things, that kind of allude to things that we've said over the years. Um, this goes along the lines of, a potential reset for Microsoft. Basically trying to get rid of anybody who's not a necessity. Really get down that, uh, trying to get down that operational income. Um, but yeah, Nadella basically said they've been subsidizing gaming for so long that they haven't really been monetizing it. Um, via Game Pass or other cheaper options and so on and so forth. And it's like, again, we kind of said this, right? His comment about them subsidizing gaming is definitely in large part due to Game Pass, which we talked about. They're paying X amount to have these titles in there, which is, um, they're not necessarily going to make that back, right? Because it's a subscription, a flat rate fee. Um, so yeah, there's so many little nuances coming out about this. Besides the reset, they're having to face some real serious hardware constraints, which is not them alone. But depending on how much you order, also depends on what kind of discounts you could be looking at and things of that nature. So now they're talking about potentially dialing back the quote unquote beast that was the Helix. Again, we still don't really know if it would play Steam games and all this other stuff. Um, but yeah, it's just nothing sounds good. Like you're kind of hoping you're not on the chopping block, based on the information that's coming out from Asha and team. Basically saying we're gonna have to make some hard decisions, right? Now it seems more and more like Gears and so on were made to be that sacrificial, thing to see, hey, does this work or not? Um, people's fear was, well, as soon as it doesn't work, how long until they port it to PS5 or so on and so forth? Um, there's just so many questions for this regime right now that's up in the air. They've still got a lot of work to do. All the easy wins are kind of over. Um, so it's like, what are you going to do now, right? You can't keep appeasing the overly vocal minority because honestly, they have no interest in the health of the brand. They just want everything. And that is also just as dangerous. Um, but yeah, like I said, they've run into so many issues. Already the allegation that you know they removed the Halo footage that was shown later, which it does say captured on the PS5 Pro. So they typically don't show that. So I'm kind of feeling like there's more truth to that than anything else.
Oh
Which
yeah,
like,
Jason confirmed it. He was like, yeah, it was meant to be on the state of
oh,
play.
okay, so it was
Oh,
confirmed. So there you
everything
go.
they're talking about, I truly believe it because it feels like Xbox, or rather Aka, have decided to basically kill Xbox by going full on exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, they're not full blown for me yet. I mean, these two titles don't do that yet. Um, and the fact that they're still releasing on PC, but I think they've been overly reliant on PC, and like I always explain to people, while there is overlap, the PC community has its own very specific behavior and is not a dependable source of revenue off of the way that console games sell. So, like, kind of depending on that, it's really volatile, is what I would say. So you could have them jump in and go crazy, but you could have a bunch of them just simply, uh, play the game via Game Pass or PC Game Pass, which is like $13. Because honestly, that's the biggest thing for me now with them switching gears. Gears, I was gonna pick up on PS5, and we're all gonna play co-op, but
I'm in the pun here.
yeah, but because they dropped it. Well, I already have PC Game Pass, and I'm not really interested in gears like that outside of playing the story. I'll usually clear it. We may play the Horde mode once or twice, and then that'll be it. Um, and we'll probably end our streak there with it, as opposed to they would have gotten a full blown sale out of me at least. When it comes to bringing it over to PS5. Um, but yeah, it's I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot going on. There's a lot being said. There's even more that I haven't said. Like I said, they're facing some potential closures. There's going to be
What on
some
the
firing and
street
some other
is
things going on. So I mean, I don't know. There's a ton of stuff going on, but I want to go to Morgan first on this one because you've been talking about it pretty heavily, and I know you've seen a lot as well. And then I'll go to you next, Omar. Uh, Morgan, after seeing all the news, all the takes, what are you grasping out here from all the? I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot to
Yeah,
unpack here.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, where do you even start? Because again,
But
I know
everything, but
Asha's
remember,
new.
everything's fine. So just so
Yeah,
everybody knows, the word on the street from the Xbox guys is, I just wanted everybody to know everything's fine. That's what I heard. So, but yeah, go ahead.
yeah. It's just like you said. It's like, where do you even start with this? Because it's like I said, I know Asha is new to being the CEO. She's only been here for like 3 or 4 months at this point. But it's like she's falling into Xbox patterns of, here's your day to bask in the sun with the 25th anniversary of Xbox. We're gonna fly you out. They got flued out. We're gonna give everybody bracelets. Everybody who attended got a 25th anniversary Xbox edition. The see-through green Xbox Series X, right? Um, you got the wined and dined and 69 over there in California,
Yeah, they did.
and then literally the next day she's like, all right, fun and games are over. We had your time in the sun. All right, I gave you this feast, and now here's the bill. Essentially,
Yeah,
like, yeah, you enjoyed that. You enjoyed that meal. Yeah, it was good, right? You
free
had 3 courses. I
Xboxes
watched
for
you. You enjoyed
all
that
the
shit, didn't you?
fans.
Yeah, yeah. You were
Hmm.
you were lapping that up. Okay, now here's your bill. All right, that's gonna, yeah, that number that you see. That's the actual number. That's correct. That's kind of what I'm seeing right here with this, because I'm like, damn, you couldn't even let the Xbox community like enjoy this for like a week before we start with the, okay, here comes the bad news type shit. Like, I was just so surprised that it was so quick to happen. But again, that is what Xbox does for whatever reason. um But I guess she just wanted to pull the band-aid, before, because everything in Xbox, for some reason, Xbox has like the biggest leak in the industry. Like everybody knows what the hell they're doing before they even know. So maybe she just wanted to get ahead of it before people could spin it in a way that she didn't want it to be spun. She wanted to make the narrative before everybody else just came out and said, "Oh my God, they're destroying it." you know. So I guess I respect it in that way. But Asha came out with her, here's the 100 days for us to reset Xbox, to reset the gaming division within Microsoft, right? And you know, she started off with the good news. She was talking about, oh yeah, guys, like we reintroduced exclusives with Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution, and how she was talking about players can continue to expect these signature exclusives, and coming down the pipeline. And then here comes once again Matt Booty, who is the poster child for also bad news. Like, okay, he had a interview like literally right after um the Xbox event with Paris and the other dude for which name I don't remember. Um, and he basically broke down, you know, the big question. Okay, so what's going on with the exclusives, bro? Like, because we watched the show, you started with an exclusive, Gears of War E-Day, great, but then it was like back to back to back multiplat, right? It was like, oh, State of K3, oh, that's coming to PS5, okay. And then it was Senua, oh, that's also coming to PS5, okay. Fable, oh, coming to PS5. Oh, oh, Halo. Oh, okay, yeah, that's still coming to PS5. It was just like, we start with Gears. Hey, that's exclusive, guys. Like, Asha made sure to come out literally right after the Gears initial trailer was done, and say, yeah, and Gears of War E-Day, exclusive. I'm like getting PTSD from when Sarah Bond came on stage after the Starfield first look, and she was like, and that's right, guys, Starfield is an Xbox exclusive. like, I'm like, yo, I'm getting flashbacks from 2022. Like, I'm just like, it's great that they want to come on stage and talk about the fact that these exclusives are happening, but I'm like, are they though? Like, you keep saying that it's a permanent exclusive. You got Aaron Greenberg out here tweeting, oh yeah, yeah, Gears of War E-Day is permanent. It's never coming to PlayStation. But I'm like, bro, I literally bookmarked the tweet because I knew that Starfield was eventually going to come to PlayStation. So I had bookmarked the tweet where Aaron Greenberg was like, I don't know how many times we have to say this, guys, but Starfield is exclusive to Xbox, and it'll only ever be on the Xbox ecosystem. And then it's 2026 or whenever the hell it came out, 2025, I think. Starfield's on PS5. So I'm like, it's hard to kind of believe really anything the Xbox executives have to say. And this is not me saying that I want Gears to come over or that I want the exclusives to come over to PlayStation. I'm just saying, as a consumer, as someone who is a gamer, and someone who has listened to the Xbox executives for over the years now, and I think anybody who's been in gaming and been listening to these Xbox executives would find it hard to believe that what they say is in fact true. Or, especially seeing how the fact that they've kind of put stipulations, they put an asterisk beside the exclusives, right? When Matt Booty broke down what was happening with the exclusives, he was like, okay, we've got Gears of War E-Day, we've got Clockwork Revolution, and those are going to be exclusive to the platform. And from this point going forward, live service games will be multiplat, which is understandable. PlayStation's doing the exact same thing. Okay, cool. Um, and then we'll have the games that were contractually obligated, and we've talked with our partners, and we've done certain things, so those will stay. Those will also be multiplat and things like that. And this is where I'm confused, because again, Senua wasn't talked about in any. No one knew this was happening. It's not a live service game. It's a single player game, and that's also coming to PlayStation. Um, and because he also said that it'll be case by case. Which, again, I gotta take my L on this, because Nate literally said, I think it was like 5 to 10 minutes before the interview came out, he was like, I'm not really sure, uh, you know, what the games are going to be the exclusive. Like, I don't. He said, I think it'll be a case by case thing, and I was just like, nah, they're not going to do that again. That was Phil's motto. Case by case was Phil's thing, and I think they want to separate themselves from what Phil did. So they'll probably maybe actually have a defined path for what their exclusives will be. They'll come out and clarify. It'll be
Oh,
clear to
you
everyone.
gave them too much credit.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then like 5 minutes later, here comes Matt Booty with the interview. Yeah, so it's gonna be case by case. And I'm like, what the fuck? Word for word. So I take my L on that, and they called that shit. So yeah, I'm just like, so what is the case by case? And in my eyes, I'm thinking case by case means like if it's too big, then it'll go everywhere. I'm thinking like Fallout will probably be multiplat. The next Fallout, I'm thinking like Elder Scrolls 6 will probably be multiplat. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of the direction they're going. um Again, I could be absolutely wrong. This is literally just me guessing. But why even open up the possibility of a case by case? Like, why not just make it, hey, this point going forward, it's just live service games going over there, right? Because Forza was the big seller, and Forza's a live service game, so it could still go to PlayStation. Your Sea of Thieves can still go to PlayStation. Um, games like that, Elder Scrolls Online, PlayStation. Call of Duty, obviously, PlayStation. But then just keep the single player games on Xbox, right? I mean, I think that would be a very clear path. But I think there's a reason why they just don't want to definitively do that. And I think it's just the Xbox install base is just not big enough to support all these games. I know people keep saying, but Game Pass is sustainable. Game Pass is sustainable. Okay, but if you keep adding more games to Game Pass and the subscriber count is not going up, right? Like, oh, maybe you could support 10 games, 10 big AAA games with 25 million subscribers, but then you add this, these are just obviously abstract numbers. I'm just doing it as an example. But then if you add another 20 games and you still have 25 million subscribers, can the money still support all these games? That's the big question. I think that's what people aren't understanding or aren't really thinking about. They're like, Game Pass can sustain all this, but I'm like, but you keep throwing more games into Game Pass, but you're not getting more subscribers, right? Asha already came out and said that they lost millions of subscribers when the price went from $20 to $30. That they lost millions. Like, that shit is insane. Like, the price hike was so bad that they lost a not hundreds, not thousands, but millions of people, right? And she said it's steadily kind of getting back to, it's steadily increasing now that the price is kind of closer to what it originally was. Right now it's $22, and they're steadily increasing, but they're not back to where they were. They still lost a hell of a lot of subscribers. So how the hell do you support all these AAA games, right? You got Gears rumored to, and obviously it's a rumor. It could be absolutely wrong, but it's rumored to be $400 million. How the hell are you supposed to support all that with this small amount of subscriber base, right? People keep saying like this, like Game Pass has this inevitable amount of money that can just support every single game that's thrown in there, and it never has to increase. It never has to get more expensive. It never has to get more players. It could just thrive in its current state. And I'm just like, no, it can't. And now you're putting your games exclusive to the two platforms that can access Game Pass, right? Because the point of being on PlayStation was that, hey, they didn't have Game Pass, so they had to pay the 60, the 50, 60, $70 or more for these games, right? And you would get that, a bigger chunk of change because they actually had to pay for the game. But now you're limiting it to two platforms, or technically more because you can get it on cloud and things like that. But all these platforms can get the games via Game Pass. We'll see how that works. Like, I applaud them for trying to take a bet on Xbox, and they finally, after all these interviews and all these press releases, have come to realize that exclusives are beneficial, and they actually are the thing that helps the platform grow. Regardless of what everyone else was saying back in 2021, 22, 23, 24, when they were trying to tell people that exclusives aren't important and they don't matter. It's interesting to see the Xbox fan base make a complete 180 on that, and all of a sudden exclusives do matter now, and they are important, and we need them for the ecosystem, and we need them in order to convince people to buy in to your platform, because people won't buy in unless they're. I was like, oh really? That's such an interesting idea that you came up all on your own that no one else had ever said before. Great. I'm so glad that you came to that conclusion. um yeah, it's just so funny watching all of the rhetoric that PlayStation players were telling Xbox players for years finally come to the front with the when the CEO tells them it. Then all of a sudden it makes sense at that point. Other people tell it they don't it's not important and it doesn't make sense when other people tell you that, but when the CEO comes out and says it, then okay, it's clear now. But yeah, Asha's 100 days memo that she come out where she's saying things like, basically their accountability margin is only at 3%, okay, which is fucking
Which is
terrible.
crazy.
It's like for every $100 Xbox spends, they spend 97 of that and only keep 3, and it's like that's fucking that's terrible, terrible. Mind you, they had a 30% accounted they had a 30% margin that they were supposed to hit back when Phil was in charge, and those last couple years when Satya and Amy Hood set a 30% margin for them to hit, and I'm like, yeah, there was no way they were gonna fucking hit that. It was a reason why they started throwing them games on PlayStation, because they were like, yeah, we're nowhere near that. Okay. I see why, Phil was stressing out. He was losing weight. He was getting all the gray hairs. Like shit, I'd be stressed too. Hell, man, get me the fuck out of here. I'd be done if I was Phil. But yeah, the fact that they said that, she came out and she at least said the truth. That I'll give her that. To her credit, she's coming out. She's telling the truth that Phil and the rest of these dudes were just refused to say that Xbox is in fucking trouble. Okay, they're not in a good place right now. They are like, obviously behind everyone else, behind their competition when it comes to PlayStation, Nintendo, PC. Right? They are behind in their market share. Like they're the least. They're not reaching as many markets as their competition. um they're she kind of expounded on the hardware crisis that we're going through now with components. She's saying that it's over what 2 times as high, like the component prices are 2 times as high as they were when they originally came out. So in 2020 it's you know it costs 2 times as much now to get these components as it did back then. And then she's saying by 2027 it's gonna be like 5 times. I'm like, oh shit. Like the hardware crisis is not going anywhere, and they're expecting to deliver a PC like hybrid in 2027 with prices that'll be 5 times more than they were, you know, 6-7 years ago. Good fucking luck. Um, and then she's just saying, our platform infrastructure, it's not battle ready. Essentially, like it's not built for the current market. It's not good enough for the current market. She's saying that they've been too reliant on other systems and other platforms for you know support. I think she's talking about PlayStation specifically, and probably PC as well. Um, but they need to get back to the core. But again, it's like a catch 22 when it comes to building the core, because it's like, how can you build the core without taking games away from other platforms, i.e., PC and PlayStation? But then again, by doing that, by let's say if they took everything and made everything Xbox exclusive, like no PC, no PlayStation, no Nintendo, no nothing, and everything was just on Xbox, then that would astronomically change the revenue trajectory for them, and it would just put them in the complete red. And it would probably wouldn't, especially now with there being a hardware crisis and they're saying they don't have enough components to make Xboxes. So how do you build up a base where you can't even make the console to get your console numbers up? It's like it's like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Which is why I kind of scratch my head at the exclusives as well, because again, I have been a proponent of them being exclusive, but the mere fact that they came out and said that we can't really make consoles, well, I'm like, okay, so you wanna make a game exclusive to bolster your console sales, but then you admit that you can't actually make any consoles. So it won't really help, because if somebody wanted, like, let's say, because there's plenty, I'm sure, I think in America, like everywhere I go, I see a damn Xbox. Like if I go into Walmart right now, there are probably 3 or 4 Xboxes sitting on the shelves. But many other countries, that's not the case, right? A lot of people have to order straight from like the Microsoft website, and they're not always in stock. So it's like if I'm a person and I see Gears and I want to play that, and it's not coming to the PlayStation I own, I have to buy an Xbox, but then I can't because they're out of stock. Like that doesn't really help, It doesn't help that you made it exclusive, because now that person can't access the game. Um, but yeah, all this to say, after she came out and said all this, we're too dependent on this. Everything's too expensive. We spent too much damn money on acquisitions. Like she was just talking about how Activision was just, she didn't necessarily say Activision, but she kind of put it into terms that it didn't necessarily benefit them in the best of ways. Like it put them in a certain predicament by spending $69 billion on a publisher as big as Activision. And after all that, she kind of wrapped up and said, "Yeah, so because all this bullshit, there's going to be a lot of pain coming in Xbox's direction, right? I.e., there's going to be some layoffs, probably a lot of layoffs. Um, Probably some game cancellations. We already saw one with you know, Ninja
Mara.
Theory's Project Mara game, and which was weird because I had never thought that was a game. I thought that was just kind of like a concept art kind of thing. I thought that was like a project they were doing to kind of show, you know, their ability to design things. Like I never thought Project Mara was actually a game, but then when they said they canceled it and it was a game, I was like, oh, that was a game. Oh, okay, cool. Because I mean,
I
it
thought
looked like
it was a
it.
tech demo.
That's what I'm saying. I thought it was a tech demo or something like that. Like I didn't necessarily think it was a game. Because it kind of just looked like my first apartment tour guide, like virtual apartment tour shit that you kind of see when you're looking at an apartment, you're trying to see what it looks like inside, and they got the virtual tour thing. That's kind of what it looked like to me. So I'm thinking, okay, this is just them kind of showing off the tech, but apparently it was a game. So okay, so that was the first one, and I'm guessing there's probably going to be a few more, maybe some that internally that we don't even know about, that probably maybe Jason Schreier will give a glimpse on, like this internal game from Bethesda got canceled or some shit like that, right? And hopefully not, but a lot of people are, leaning towards studio closures. But it kind of seems like that might be the way to go, because I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm saying from what Asha's stating, she's talking about um, how Xbox needs to streamline their development process and they want to focus more on the big hitters, which is kind of weird because Matt Booty came out when like Asha first um got announced as the CEO, and they were kind of doing their world tour around different uh you know, doing a bunch of interviews and shit. Matt Booty was asked about like the smaller games, and they were like, "Yeah, it's the smaller games that make Xbox unique, and they build on Xbox, and that's how we get to bigger games because of smaller games and things like that." And now here comes Asha saying, "Yeah, well, we need to focus on more mainline, more bigger titles like Fallout, Call of Duty, Elder Scrolls, like the big hitters, Halo, the big hitters within Xbox need to be the focus essentially." So I'm like, okay, so that means like Double Fine's about to be out. Like Compulsion is about to be
Yeah,
out.
one of the three compulsion is closed. So we
Like
will
I'm just
see.
like, okay, this is kind of completely different from what you said, last month. But maybe she's like realizing like, there comes a price with these exclusives, right? Like this is what Xbox gamers wanted. And so things have to change internally, which is funny because I'm seeing a lot of, with this rumor going out, with this, memo going out from Asha, and the wave of tweets and information and articles that are coming out about the things that are going to happen within Xbox within the next, month or so. I'm seeing a lot of like Xbox fans not bothered at all by this. Some people are cheering for it, saying yes, this is what needs to happen. This, in order for Xbox to get back on track, people are gonna have to lose their jobs. Studios are gonna have to be closed. Like, I just find it very interesting now that they are pro the layoffs, and pro studio closing. But anytime it's any other platform, they're quick to demonize it and say that's why that publisher is, not making the right decision. But anyway, um, other than that, it's just I mean, she came out with so much information, and then we got Matthew Ball, who is what the chief strategy officer from Xbox, who used to be an analyst for the games industry. Essentially, he used to come out with those yearly um, analyst memos, basically stating like what's going on within the industry of gaming, and the ups and the downs, and where he thinks the trajectory of gaming is going, which he has been wrong on quite a few occasions. Like he thought the metaverse was going to take off, and yeah, that didn't really happen. He thought subscriptions were the future of gaming, and as of right now, not really. Um, and he's really big on the cloud, thinking that is also another future for gaming. And listen, GeForce is really the only one that's really gotten the cloud correctly. XCloud is okay, but I just don't see the majority, especially when the majority of gamers are, ball and gun gamers, where you need a constant, you know, good connection and stream ability in order to play these games, because every little microsecond counts in these type of games. Cloud is not reliable enough. It's not in a good enough state to be as seamless as a direct connection. So I don't really see, in this current state of where live service games are kind of like the dominant in the casual market, where cloud would be the dominant platform right now. Like it's just not. I'm sorry. Um, but he had his interview with what's his name? I think it was Matt Piscatella, I believe. Um, and he was talking to him, and funny enough, Matt had the balls to just straight up ask him, like, so, like, he explained the exclusive strategy about what Xbox is doing, and you know it's the live service, and it's, oh, we had contracts and this and that. And Matt straight up asked him, okay, so what about Senua though? Because that's not a live service game, and it wasn't previously announced. So why is that coming to PlayStation, but a game like uh Gears isn't, which is kind of a live service game? And Matt just kind of looked at him for like 5 seconds. It was like, comment. And he was like, oh, okay, all right, moving on. And I'm just like, see, they're not being very clear as to why certain games are going and why others aren't. And I think that's just kind of the biggest negative that people are seeing right now. It's just like, you're not being very clear. That's what people want. People want clarity from Xbox, because Xbox has been in a state of like tumultuous decision making, where they've gone back and forth on things within a matter of like weeks. They'll say one thing and then completely go in the opposite direction. And what people want from Asha is a clear, concise message where I know what's going to happen. I know which games are coming where, and I now can make an informed decision as a consumer as to which platform I want to go to, which platform I want to buy, and which platform I want to play my games on. But because of the confusion, it makes it harder, because I'm like, if I'm a new consumer coming into gaming, and people tell me, okay, I only have enough money for one console, a PlayStation 5 or a Series X, and you know I'm looking at the games coming to both platforms. It looks like Xbox is giving a lot of games to PlayStation, but they're also saying, hey, these games are exclusive, but some more will come over, but we won't tell you which ones. So it's just like, I don't know if I want to put my investment in a company that isn't giving me a clear, concise message. Whereas PlayStation's like, yeah, every first party game on PlayStation is going to be exclusive except for the live service games. Those go everywhere. And it's like, okay, that makes sense. Like, that's just my point. Like, it's just too much back and forth with Xbox, and they're still not being very clear. And Matthew Ball even kind of admitted to that they're still in a state where they want to be clear to gamers about what the path is that they're choosing, and where they're going with their games, and what the strategy is for their gaming portfolio. He said they're just not in a place right now to say that at this moment. And I think it's just because they're still in the midst of deciding which of these games are going to be the case by case basis type of stuff. Like, which games are going to PlayStation and which ones are gonna stay exclusive, and we could see that from the showcase that you know, where it was like, here's exclusive, here's a bunch of games that are multiplat, and here's another exclusive, right? They're still kind of going back and forth on which ones. And then you have Asha. I mean, I'll give her credit to her pulling that uh Halo, you know, campaign evolved or whatever the fuck it's called, off of the state of play, because that was a great move. Because honestly, that would have set back Xbox. So the bad PR around that would have been astronomical. Like, here's a state of play, a PlayStation's showcase, and here is what is known as the quintessential IP for Xbox, their own mascot, right? Master Chief, the icon, the game, regardless of how you feel about how Halo is now, right? What state Halo is in right now, which is not the best. But he's still right now the mascot of Xbox, right? Like, you think of Xbox, you think of Halo, and then you would have that showing the first real gameplay of the new remaster would be shown at a PlayStation event. Like, the articles and the just the bad like publicity that would come Xbox's way for doing that, it would have been hard to get that back. And I think Asha realized that and immediately pulled the plug. And I know that internally they're saying, it pissed off PlayStation, but I don't think it's because they just pulled the trailer off. I don't think it's just, oh, we wanted to show this and then you're taking it away. I think it was more because of planning, because they plan these things out months in advance, and now they have to rework their showcase because now a slot is empty, right? And doing that, I don't know when exactly they pulled it off. I'm sure it was the mere fact that it was PS5 Pro footage being shown. I'm sure it was sent like within like a month or two, and so PlayStation kind of had to plan around it, and probably that was why they were pissed, because it's logistics, not because how dare you pull this off my show. Like, more of, now we have to work around this shit now. You should have told us this like months ago, right? Um, but yeah, um, I'm glad she pulled it off, because yeah, that was a great move by her. Don't ever do that shit again, and I don't think she will. Um, that would be like PlayStation giving the Xbox event, God of War LaFay to show off, like like it would have just been terrible. Like, the community would have just been in upheaval at seeing that game at an Xbox event. Like, wow, what does that mean? What's happening? Um so yeah, especially with this new strategy of we're going back to exclusives, don't put your mascot on PlayStation. That's terrible. As far as the showcase goes, it's still coming to PlayStation, but apparently that's going to be the last one coming over there. Um, but yeah, all this is to say, they're admitting that the business is not in a good state, right? That, and then you got freaking Satya Nadella coming out in that recent interview talking about, oh yeah, we here at Microsoft, we've never monetized Xbox. If anything, we're subsidizing Xbox. So, meaning, like, Xbox really hasn't been that profitable for them.
They're losing too much money. Like that's what they that's the entire point of the statement. Yeah, we're not profitable. We're not making enough money to recoup that investment, and that's clearly the mission that Asha has been given by Satya. Make this work, or at least gracefully put it to sleep, right? So that we without money, because it's bleeding them money, and it's a distraction from them. Like, exactly like the hardware thing. Again, like, yeah, they need the hardware for the AI push, and then, oh, but they also need the same hardware for their consoles. Hey, yeah, what do you think Satya is going to choose? He has to choose between the two, which he clearly now, like, again, that stupid interview of him, like, this guy has no clue, anything about gaming. Like, sure, he's probably good at it has to be good at his job, because otherwise he wouldn't be holding it. Though he is probably going off the deep end with the AI thing, but that's a discussion. But, like, the entire, like when he said, like, yeah, you're subsidizing Xbox, which is clearly stating, like, okay, yeah, it's losing money, and then he's like, oh yeah, but yeah, like, YouTube is it's basically monetizing it more than they are. Like, what does that mean? Like monetize? Oh, so you want to increase the microtransactions? Like everybody is able to make it work. Whether you put in like it's a service game or just a single player game, with full price upfront, like everybody is able to make it work, but Microsoft. And why is that? Well, we know all the reasons why that is, and he's like, oh yeah, yeah, the solution is just to make it even less attractive, make people even more annoyed, that you're interrupted by an ad when you're just in a very exciting scene or climax of a game, and then they're like, oh yeah, now I have an ad break. Did you know that the Whoppers are $1 or something like? Yeah, it's so tone deaf. It's so cynical, or like, yeah, you're again. They're always acting like it's not their fault, like it's somebody else's problem. It's the way the world works, and no, it's the way you do business. It's the way you clearly don't understand what you're doing with that particular part of your business and the industry, and yeah, I don't know, you're at this point, I'm like, okay, then just do it, just again pull the band-aid off and just come out and say what you're going to do. Stop pretending. Stop developing these parasocial relationships with these fanboys, and just saying, okay, yeah, this is our strategy. We're just slowly phase out. The Xbox. The next console is going to be the last, or going to be a console. You know, uh, Stop with all the pussyfooting around. Stop pretending that you're going to bring back Xbox when you clearly like. How is that bringing back Xbox when you're making statements like these? And yeah, sure, internal memo leak. Like, of course it didn't leak. Of course they deliberately did that. So it's like they could sort of uh, pretend that they know what they're doing. They're can spin it whoever they want, and that's kind of, yeah. I'm not surprised the fanboys are defending this and are not concerned about this, because it that's I think that's kind of the point, because they're so excited because they're getting exclusives again, or some exclusives, or at least console exclusives, and then they're getting information that's basically derailing their entire sentiment, an entire wave of positivity, and they're just error does not compute. They're just you know file it under, oh yeah, it's probably nothing. It's doom and gloom. It's, oh no, it has to be positive because we just got positive. Doing is, it has to be spun in some sort of positive way. Yeah, I mean, and of course they're all plenty of those people are just shilling, or at least you know you know continually profiting from that parasocial relationship with these companies, the things that they gain, their free Xboxes they're getting, the access, the advertising revenue they're generating on their YouTube channels. Like, they're basically doing the exact same thing as Microsoft seems to be doing. They're sort of milking it for what it's worth, trying to get as much cash out of it as long as, and they're doing the same thing. Like yeah, they know they probably know deep down what time it is, but they're like, yeah, I'll just ride it out until ride out that wave until it's gone, and I'll just keep pretending that everything is fine, because people won't come to my channel if I tell them what really is going on, what I really. No, I have to spin this positive news because that's what they want to hear, and that's how I get my ad revenue, subscribers, and my engagement and whatever. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, like, I mean, we keep doing this dance, but in the end, nothing had changed. Like it's very clearly the beginning of the end for Xbox, and just I guess a matter of yeah, how soon is it gonna happen. That's basically it.
Cool. Quick question. Do you remember the last thing that Morgan said? Because I was messing with the stream. Because that's when it started to freak out. She
Uh,
wanted to finish